I'm Barbara Criswell. I'm the owner of Aquarius. I started the store 30 years ago, 1989, and it really was something that I didn't know where I was going or what was going to happen. I started the store to give to my daughter, who had just been in a really tragic car accident with head injuries and was having to face the fact that she would not be able to work as a nurse ever. So since she was interested in paganism and crystals especially, I thought that a little store that she could work in part-time would be just the sort of thing to help her feel she had value. It's one of those best laid plans that never worked out. She's never worked a day in the store. And I think this was just a manifestation of something for myself that I wouldn't have done for me, but I would willingly do for someone else. So at any rate, she's never worked in the store. She's really doing okay. She's getting a fine quality of life, though it doesn't include working at all. And I'm doing the work and enjoying it for the last 30 years.
So 30 years ago, so you're opening this business. What is it you're first selling? I mean, this has got to be like, Kansas City is not the place I would think of being like a metaphysical or, as in the words of the kids these days, woke culture.
That's all true. And the reason for the crystals was because she was interested in crystals and the metaphysical properties. I was the vice president of marketing for a life insurance company, which is just about as far from a metaphysical store as you can get. But what I did bring to this was management information, financial information, some experience with big business that transferred and gave me a huge advantage over many of the people that start metaphysical stores because it's their dream, their let's back up a little bit. I stumbled there. Because it's their dream, and they start the store without having the business background that would help them be successful. So through fate, through some greater plan, or through sheer luck, I ended up having the kind of training, the kind of experience that's held me in good stead in doing the store.
And now you have a huge footprint, at least by my opinion.
It is amazing. I just am in awe, and every day or so I shake my head and wonder how this all happened and why this all happened. But know that so long as my emphasis is on how can I help people, everything else falls in place.
So you see your role over the last 30 years as service. First, service to your daughter, and then you opened the shop, and then it became your shop, your service. And
well, not mine so much as looking at what you need and how I can help provide it.
Okay.
So I've just had extraordinarily good luck and didn't know it. Didn't know how much I should have valued it at the time. But people that helped me in ways I never would have thought about to ask. And over the years, the store has always been incredibly successful. We've had an amazing growth. And my goodness, our reputation, our friendship among all the people that come here is just astounding.
It is. So people were speaking very well of you. And so you see, finding the services of the person that comes through the door. I met you at Heartland Pagan Festival,
Right.
But you're not a pagan store. You're not a metaphysical store in the traditional sense. You're something quite broader, I feel.
Yes, that's exactly right. Because while we support paganism and Wicca and all the metaphysical paths, I feel that our role is not to be the expert in any one of those, but to ask you what you need and help you find what you need in order to best practice your own beliefs. One of the things I say is that we're not pagan, we're not Christian, we're not all those things, and the people we serve are the other. The people that define themselves as, maybe they don't even know a name, but they are the other, and those are the people we welcome here.
I would have to feel like I'm one of those others. I mean, it is that idea of it. And among some products, you had a pallet show. You just were out in Tucson buying the very finest quality crystals.
This is something that I don't quite know how this all happened myself. But for the last, 15 years, maybe a little longer, I've gone to Tucson every year for the International Gem and Mineral Show and bought the major inventory for the year there each time. So that now I go and set up several pallets out there and fill it with things that, if it appeals to me, if I get a giggle out of it, then I know other people will like it too. So I bring those pallets, have the pallets shipped back here to the store. We open them up and just take them out of the packaging, but put prices on them and scatter them all around this huge multi-purpose room we have. Then invite people in for a Saturday and Sunday to see all the merchandise at one time. It's the only time you ever could, because from now on, we'll stock the store downstairs, but the rest is held in back stock. So this is a chance for people to look at everything and really pick out the best of everything that's here.
It's got to be almost irresistible for your customers. That's catnip out there. But I noticed that your shop is very, I don't even know how to describe it. Let me go ahead. I like it. Organized is a good word, but it's very themed. It's very understandable. That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay, I hadn't thought of that. What I look for is flow.
Okay, that's what we're looking at. We're talking about flow. I can understand where everything's at.
Yeah, there's some logic in how things are displayed, kind of departments if you wanted to, but the main idea is to have clear footpaths to encourage people to linger with some things and handle everything, because our role is everything's to play with. And so they come and they spend hours playing with the drums or playing with the stones or playing with the books. And they're encouraged because there are clear pathways between those things.
And being a retailer, that's really goes against modern retailing. The idea you get them in, sell them the product, get them out.
No, we're just the opposite. We say, come in, spend some time. You don't have to buy anything. There's no pressure to buy at all. We are so low sales approach that people come and spend the day. And that's what we like.
And at this point, that other is turning generational. Would you say that?
Intergenerational for sure. Grandparents to the children. And we really encourage them to bring the little kids. And one of the things I did put in to encourage families was a section that has toys. So that when the kids come, they have one place they can touch. So parents bring kids in and their impulse is, don't touch anything, don't touch it.
Right.
And instead we can say, maybe you don't touch it here, but here's a place where you can get it down, you can play on the floor with it, you can carry it around. So there's stuffed animals, there's gimmicky toys, whatever appeals to me and makes me giggle is there. But the idea is to give the kids one place where they can touch. I want them to want to come back.
So that's great. And that, I mean, I was the way I was thinking was that with 30 years, you've had people who've come in here. Now their kids have come here.
Yep, that's for sure.
And that idea of toys, it was a completely different direction. So that's actually really wonderful.
Well, it's another way of looking at needs, isn't it? Yeah. What does that child need? And the longer they're happier here, the longer the parents are happier here.
Sure. And the niceness of that, the family energy of that, and things like that. Now, you sponsor, from what I can tell, you're a big sponsor of neighborhood events.
We're very involved in neighborhood and even city things. I'm on any number of committees and working with the city and with the neighborhood to enhance isn't a good right. To be very active in making this part of the city a good place to live, a good place to visit.
So you're out there, you're involved in the community, you've made a long-term commitment.
That's right.
You're able.
I not only own this building, I live in the hood and love it. I can't imagine a better place to live in Kansas City than in what people consider the hood.
You know, I understand that.
They're my people, you know.
Absolutely. And so you have this great shop, and then you share it with. You have another shop here with your son.
My son and I are unique partners.
Okay.
And we really hesitated at the very beginning to do this. We'd always had such a wonderful relationship. We didn't want to risk it.
I can understand that.
So what we do is we own the building together. I own 2/3. He owns 1/3. We rent from ourselves, and I have 2/3 of the space, and he has 1/3 of the space, and we share the utilities proportionately.
Mm-hmm.
We don't commingle at all, but we coexist wonderfully well.
That's interesting. That's a fascinating thing. And must be lovely to have that.
Well, he's an incredible person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot easier whenever you know that you can absolutely, incredibly, completely trust the other person to have acted in the very best, most ethical way. So if things never happen, we never have incidents.
You can tell that your staff is like, I will tell you, I go to a lot of physical stores, and they're happier than most other stores
Oh, yeah.
in general.
Yes.
But my gosh, your staff is almost ecstatic.
They are. They're silly, aren't they? And I tease them and I say that they think I didn't hire them. They think I adopted them. So when they come, they stay years and years and years.
So the concept of serving the other, does that also mean your employees as well? Do you see when you hire them, are they the others?
Well, I think we all are whenever we admit the truth about ourselves.
Okay.
And yes, I hired them because they were good people,
Mm-hmm.
because they knew who they were, because they were people who wanted to learn,
Mm-hmm.
people who questioned. So John has an incredible background in some of the esoteric things,
Mm-hmm.
and another person might excel in rituals, and someone else would have different. Oh, John Mark knows more about stones than anyone. So,
Mm.
so each person has their own skills, but we all come to it to be of service.
So in that line, I noticed something that I thought was incredibly interesting, in that you had tuning forks. And you were saying this is the first time that you had them, and I said, I've just started seeing those hit the market. So it was very interesting to me, because a lot is that you weren't just carrying the stuff that everybody wants. You started carrying stuff that they may not even know they want.
That's right. We want to be cutting edge.
Mhm.
We want to be able to offer the thing that for people's next step.
Right.
So tuning forks were one of those things. Also colored glasses.
Mm-hmm.
So we have those. Just got those in too. Some of these things will stay around a while.
Mm-hmm.
Other things come and go. But I want people to be able to come here and explore them,
Mm-hmm.
to touch them, to experience them, to see whether they want to buy them. So you're not just ordering something off the internet that may or may not work for you. There's a tuning fork there, and you can play with it yourself
Mm-hmm.
and see how it fits in with how you would use it.
Or bringing for the first time a gemstone water bottle that you untwist and change out your own stones.
Oh, that was a neat one. We were probably the first customers for Vitajewel. They're a German company, and what they started out with were these bottles that had different kinds of gemstones in them to transfer the energy of the gemstone into the water. And they did a very good job of choosing the right stones. And what amazed me was that it actually changes the flavor or the feeling of the water until I think you, with a little bit of experience, you could identify which gemstone had charged that water. So we sold those over the years and done very well with them because they're a good product. But their newest product is one that really enhances, because instead of having to buy an individual thing for each purpose, you can use your own stones then to charge the water. Now you'd think you could just drop the stones in water and charge them that way, but there's some stones that wouldn't be good for us to do that, and you might not know that. So the copper stones like azurite and malachite would be things you might want in your water, but they have copper in them, and that's not a good thing for us to ingest. Bumblebee jasper has arsenic. Now, we don't know those things, but we might want to charge those in the water, but we don't want to drink the water from it. So the new product by Vitajewel has a separate compartment that you can put your own stones in, and you only have to buy the one, and then you can use your own stones for all your different purposes.
So here you are. You're a community center.
Yeah.
And tonight we're going to be using the community center, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
You've got beautiful store,
Mm-hmm.
book layouts, almost any product you can imagine. And if you can't, so let's talk about the next level. You've said if you can't find a product here, that your staff can find it.
Yep. We love to look.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to have we want people to be able to experience the very best.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be able to take people from where they are to where they want to go. So what is the thing that'll help them do it?
Mm-hmm.
It can be a book, it could be essential oils, it could be stones, it could be just sitting and talking sometimes. But just like I can't be static,
Mm-hmm.
I want other people to want to push, to want to reach, to want to explore. And what we have to do is create a safe place to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was especially true when we started the store 30 years ago, and people were so afraid of paganism and Wicca. Now, the whole Kansas City is open and receptive to it in marvelous ways. But then we had to help people have the product that let them do it safely.
Mm-hmm.
That was years ago, but I remember one of the jewelry pieces we had for people like nurses and teachers that might want to wear a pentacle but couldn't do it then.
Right.
So this is one that had a pentacle hidden in the design of a flower. So they could wear their pentacle and it looked just like a piece of jewelry. Well, that's the kind of thing we're always looking for. How can we help people express themselves, claim who they are, and do it in safe ways?
That's very interesting. You were talking about coming from a more oppressive marketplace, right? You're selling more products over to a more oppressed marketplace, and all these 30 years later, you're selling to what you feel like is a way much more open marketplace.
Oh, absolutely. I think that people now are, even people that are in the pagan group, are likely to say, well, I'm kind of that, but also.
Mm-hmm.
I like doing that, but I like this too.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that inclusiveness. I like to have people safe and excited and getting the information they need to explore wherever they're drawn.
And so you've created a safe space.
Exactly.
And now you're able to look for things than anyone else. Mm-hmm. So do you have an online presence?
No, I really thought about it, and
That's fair.
Yeah, I thought my decision was that I could best do my work if I could focus on this amount. An online store is a whole different attitude toward selling and buying,
mm-hmm.
and I felt that was in conflict with our soft sell.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt that I could not do that and be who I am.
So you've created an experience.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me, coming here is an experience.
It is, isn't it?
It is. It's a lovely experience. That you work really well with your staff and people to bring them service to individuals, no matter what they want, and kind of helping with the other. Kind of, if you feel a little bit odd, you've been here for a very long time, and you've gone from kind of this idea of being just being one person, mm-hmm. constantly being open, constantly adding more things to the services. Today you have, like I said, beautiful large space, really unusual items. I love the gemstone waters, as we talked about. You have almost every type of stone.
Yes.
So you have also people here that are just serving guidance. I've noticed you've had readers,
mm-hmm.
and you connect people to like Reiki masters and things. Do you have like a network of workers to help?
Well, we list many people on our website.
Mm-hmm.
And for the readers we have are really professional ones, and they have their own businesses. They're all very successful and years of experience.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've sold them on, or our purpose here, is not to do the long, intensive reading, but to be available at a very low price. Everyone charges $20,
mm-hmm.
and they do a 15-minute reading, and there's no appointments. But the purpose of that is that sometimes people need a quick answer. They have one question, or they have one thing that's urgent, and they need a way to get into it, and maybe they don't have very much money. So this is a way to get those people that have a crisis in their life, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
or they're looking for some, searching for some information. A place where they can come, they know they can get a competent, qualified reader and get that help without breaking their bank book. So this, if they ever want long readings, if they ever want complete readings, they make an appointment and do it someplace else. But for these 15-minute readings for people that need something in a hurry.
Absolutely, that's beautiful. That's really very efficient.
Well, and it's serving that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Now, long, complete readings are valuable,
Mm-hmm.
but often people don't have time or money for those. And so how can we help people get to readers that are competent and qualified to help them with those quick answers?
So I have a lot of entrepreneurs out there, young pagan entrepreneurs, and they want to get they always talk about getting their products on people's shelves. How tough is that really to get product on shelves?
Well, the product, it depends on the product.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, we don't do much on consignment,
Mm-hmm.
but occasionally we will. And if someone were out there that was doing really wonderful wooden wands,
Mm-hmm.
I would welcome them. But
So-
yeah, go ahead.
So I was looking at so you're approachable on product, but it's like it's not the easiest thing in the world. And you look for quality. You have to meet a certain standard.
Exactly, and
Mhm.
people aren't always don't always recognize the volume that I have to have,
That's
or they do 3 or 4 of them and then they get tired of it.
so. These are the things that when you come to you want them to be a business. You want to be like take it seriously because as you move.
The product has to be quality and it has to serve a purpose.
And then, and once it serves a purpose, it needs to be replaceable.
That's right,
Mhm.
and a consistent supply.
Absolutely. And so that's what's made you one of the best. That's why you're still here 30 years later, right?
Well, and a lot of blessings. I just am in awe that every morning I come in and I shake my head and say, my goodness, what a wonderful thing to happen here.
And it is. You've done an amazing thing, a beautiful thing. So people want to come out and see you, they should come right out to the shop. That's where you go, right?
That's where we are. We're open. We close 3 days of the year. We close on Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day. Other than that, we're open all the
Absolutely.
time.
All the time. And then you have wonderful stuff and everything else. Well, thank you. I really appreciate you. And let me offer something I think the community, of all things I've been listening to, let me offer you, if I may, a way I think your community sees you. They really see you as an iconic and a very strong person, and that this is the community center, and they would be really lost without having you or here or there. So over the years of work, you've really helped make the community weave together here.
I think that's true. I can accept that and
Mm-hmm.
and honor it.
And everybody wants you to continue success.
Well, I'm 81,
Yeah.
and one of my puzzles right now is continuity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here, I'm healthy, and who knows? But any of us could at any time not be able to do something, or might
Mhm.
choose not to do something, and so there's the challenge in going forward, isn't it?
It is, and I would never take you for anywhere near that. So, thank you for sharing that with us. I always tell people, I always joke about why did I become a witch? Because, well, we're younger. We stick around longer. We who work this because it's a happy life, and that makes it easier, isn't it?
Well, I think stress-free.
Stress-free.
What it takes, and I certainly am stress-free. We are so blessed here with employees, incredible employees, generations of customers,
Mm-hmm.
a reputation that's astounding.
And
So
outstanding, yeah, and then that all leads up to outstanding product and service.
And so I'm just in awe of it and grateful.
And we thank you for it too. Blessed be.